Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I just got back from the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion 2023 up in the Pigeon Forge, Sevierville area of Tennessee. And I got to tell you, it was quite the experience. My buddy Danny has a lifted 2015 JKU. It's a four-door. Um, it looks like it should be a kid's toy. It's a grown-up kid's toy. It's on 40s. It's beautiful. It's red. It's called Bad Habit 2. Why is it called Bad Habit 2? Funny you should ask. Well, my buddy Danny used to race tough trucks up in Ohio, and he was quite competitive. He had a racing team and the whole thing, and did this for quite a while. And due to life and all that sort of stuff, he had to get rid of the racing team and move because of a job situation. And with that, he bought this Jeep. And along the way, he's been doing some off-roading stuff with friends and going to Uhari, which is up near Troy, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte. And this was my first time going with him to do any off-roading. We went to Windrock Park, which is about, I would say, an hour outside of the Pigeon Forge area where we were staying. But I got to tell you, it was quite enjoyable. I've uploaded a ton of videos to my Instagram, to Stuff I Heard on Instagram. You can see that there. I'm also going to be putting them up on a YouTube video at some point. I just got to have time to do all that. So it's one of those things where you hope you have enough time and you really run out of time all the time. Anybody else have that kind of situation where you have a thousand things to do and maybe you get some of it done? Yeah, I'm kind of in that situation. So anyway, we met some great people. First day we got there on Wednesday. We were able to check into where we were staying at the Club Wyndham Resort behind Quaker Steak and Lube up the road there. We could actually see them from our room out the balcony, which was really cool. We basically came in, threw our bags down, took the doors off, and immediately started cruising. We went straight to Hard Rock Cafe, and we had a group of seven of us. There was myself, Danny, Mike Montrose, who had a black golden eagle. Mike entered the show and shine competition, and on day two won top five. So you've probably seen his Jeep if you were there. Um, it's beautiful. It's black. It's got the golden eagle. It's a tribute golden eagle, and he explains that in great detail, way better than I can. So uh, anyway, check it out. It's all over the Instagram. You can see him at what's his Instagram? JK underscore. What is his Instagram? I'm suddenly blanking. I did it a lot this weekend. I did everything that you could do this weekend. Uh, JK underscore G. Okay, here it is. Mike Montrose is Jeep underscore JK underscore Golden Eagle. Um, you'll see tons and tons of posts about our week and about his Jeep and about winning the top five. And congratulations to Mike. He's put a lot of time and effort and energy and money into this situation, into this Jeep, and it is beautiful. It's a two-door black with gold rims, gold top or tan top, special stitched seats and all that fun stuff, and a big giant golden eagle on the front. Anyway, it would listen. It would tickle me to no end if everybody went and like followed him and tagged him and said, "Hey, I heard this on the podcast. I want to check you out." It would make him extremely happy too. But it would be, I think it'd be hilarious if all of a sudden he went from what's he got right now? Let's see how many followers he has. He's got 121 followers on Instagram. It'd be really funny if he opened it up and all of a sudden he had like 1,000 or 2,000 or something crazy, something. He'd be like, "Oh my god, where did these come from?" You can tell him, "Hey, I heard you on Stuff I Heard," and I asked him to do the podcast, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, I got the face for radio." He doesn't have the face for radio. He's just being silly. Anyway, um, but yeah, so we went to the event there at the LeConte Center. Mike paid for the show and shine. We did not. We got in a bit early and parked on the upper level. We walked down. We did pay for wristbands to get into the event. We were able to walk around. They had a ton of vendors up on the top level. We just had to wait for them to open the gates so that we could get in. We did the rounds. Danny and I walked the entire length of everything. We saw every booth. We saw everybody. There were a lot of people there. We had a really good experience talking to a few people, and I wanted to talk about those people. Those people were, to me, the coolest people that we ran into. There's two vendors that we ran into. One is the Easy Flate, the letter E, the letter Z, Flate, Flate. You can find them all over social media. You can find them on anything. They have a new YouTube page that's actually pretty awesome. I checked out their page and I went ahead and subscribed to them. They're out of Utah, and they've come up with, I don't know if they came up with it or they just happen to have a version of it, but they have a mobile air compressor that produces 10 CFMs, which is like cubic something. I don't know what it stands for. CFM. Apparently, it's a big deal because Danny was like, "Ooh, 10 CFMs? Heck yeah, man!" So anyway, um, they're designed so that you can inflate all four tires at the same time. Um, it's not very expensive. You basically just have to keep your engine running, hook it up to your battery, and inflate your tires. We went to, I'm all over the place on this, but I just kind of want to break this down with a real experience situation. So, first off, we met them. They were super nice. Danny was looking at buying one of these things anyway, but he was nervous because the onboarding type of air compressors that they have on these Jeeps are normally about 600 bucks. And he was like, I don't know if I want to, that's a lot of expense to have one on board. Plus, I got to mount it somewhere, and there's a whole thing of where you keep the hose, and it's just, it's just so much more crap you got to do. So he was like, I really wish they made something portable. And like out of his mouth into God's ears, suddenly there was this company. And we just happened to walk upon them and talk to them and say, oh, what is this? So they have different versions. They have one that's a single pump. It puts out 5.6 CFMs. And of course, with one, it's going to take a little bit longer to pump up. And then they have a second one. The first one, the one with the single pump, is called the Mesa, and it's got a dot after each letter, MESA, Auto Air. It's $239. Now, the Moab, which is the one that Danny ended up getting, is the one with two compressor pumps on it. It is oilless. It is quick. It's not very loud. It's also $239. I don't know why you get the one that just does the single, but anyway, we were able to. I'm getting ahead of myself again. We talked to them. We liked them. They were super friendly, super helpful, gave us a ton of information. I was able to give them some podcast koozies, and they gave us some swag. I got some sunglasses. I've posted it on the Instagram page, the Stuff I Heard Instagram page. Really nice people. So we walked the rest of the event. We came across another vendor that was selling a similar looking product. And Danny has this weird thing about he loves the color red because his Jeep is red. He wants all of the accessories to be red. Now, the Moab and the Mesa are both orange. And this company that we walked upon was red. And he was like, oh, look, here's one in red. But that guy wasn't helpful. I don't even want to talk about the company name because I don't want to give them a bad name. I like to promote the positive. Let's just say he didn't get the business. Okay. We liked the first version. It wasn't expensive. It's only $239. He had a gift card for his birthday from some friends of his. So he was like, oh, that's actually not very expensive. And that's something I need, something we could use. We were talking about taking this trip to Windrock Park. And he had called up there to talk to them at the general store to see if they had an air pump station, because when you go up with these giant tires and the bead lock situation, you you deflate your tires a lot so that when you have less air in them, you're less likely to bounce over your obstacles, and your tires are more likely to bend and grab the things that you need to climb over, and they grab it like it's supposed to have, and you climb over the things like the tires are designed to do. So he says he normally airs down to about 10 psi. Normally he rides around on about 27 psi. So, um, the challenge was, okay, if I drive there with them inflated and then I air down to do the obstacle course, and drive over the trails and the rocks and all the other stuff, I need to air back up before I drive on the road to get us back. So air was an option. Air was a question mark. How do we fix that problem? How do we solve that problem? So he called them. They didn't have an air up station, and he was like, "All right, so I gotta make a choice here. I either buy this, or I just hope that I run into somebody with an air compressor. And if I don't, then we're just stuck there with deflated tires, and I can't drive on deflated tires." And it sort of puts a little panic in your heart when you're thinking, I don't want to be stranded there. Anyway, so he was like, I like this version. I like those people. I want to go back to them, but I want to walk around and talk to other people and see if something else is available. And we did walk the entire length of the place. We even went down into the LeConte Center. We walked around and looked at all the vendors. Everybody's selling everything that's cool and really pricey, but also on sale because they're there for the event and they're trying to drum up business. This is all like a big marketing thing for a lot of these people. It's just a chance for them to get their name out, get people to see them, possibly buy into their product and talk about it like I am right now. Okay. Word of mouth. That's a big thing. Nowadays, word of mouth goes way further than having a commercial on TV. So, anyway, we ended up at the end of the day going back to the original people at Easy Flate and talking to them and tell them, hey, I think we're going to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy this. Danny was like, I got to tell you, the thing that sold me was you guys. Y'all were nice. You were a pleasure to talk to. You were super helpful, gave me all kinds of information. And I got to tell you, I made my decision because of you guys. So shout out to the people of Easy Flate. You guys made it a super friendly experience to have, and gave gave us both some sunglasses that were advertising as well, but also actually really nice sunglasses. They're polarized and they kind of look like I'm a WWE wrestler, but I still like them, and I wore them all weekend. So there you go. Thank you guys at Easy Flate. I appreciate all the customer service. Y'all were wonderful. This is not a paid advertisement. They're not paying us anything, by the way. This is just my testimony. And I didn't even buy the product. I just was with Danny. Now, let's talk about the product. Went to the trail, rolled all around Windrock Park, loved it, got done, hooked everything up, and it worked like it's supposed to. It inflated all the tires like it's supposed to. I've got video up on stuff I heard on Instagram. You can see that, and I'll post it on YouTube later. But it worked exactly like it's supposed to. It did get hot, which they told us it would get hot because the tires are so big and it would take a while to inflate them. And you do need to let it cool down before you put it back in the bag. But that's to be expected. It's a machine working to push air. So there's compression going on the inside with a piston. So anyway, cool product, really cool people. So thank you. All right. Now let me talk about the other folks that we met. These people were really cool too. Truckers Warehouse. Now, I don't know exactly what they sell. I am actually on their website right now for the first time because we've been busy running around like crazy people, just enjoying the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep invasion. And but we met these people. They had some really cool Jeeps parked out front, and just started talking to them. And they were some of the friendliest people that we've ever met. I gave them some koozies. They gave us some T-shirts. Danny asked this one guy, the owner, he asked him about a million questions. We were there for probably a good close to an hour talking to these folks, and they were so friendly. On their website here, it looks like they have all kinds of things that you can purchase for trucks and off-road vehicles. They have drivetrains and brakes, engine performance, exterior accessories, interior accessories, lighting and electronics, suspension, towing, air intakes. So I'm looking at possibly changing out my lights on my 2013 Dodge Ram. And I may have to check them out and look for options of what they have available because, again, they really were super, super nice. And at the end of the day, if you're going to spend your money with somebody, you sometimes you just want to like the people. You know what I mean? And I like these people. They were super nice. I actually got to interview one of the ladies there, and I posted that on the Instagram as well, and I'll be posting that video as well. So just a heads up, look out for that. I'm actually tooling around on their website right now. This is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool website. It's actually easy to work, easy to look at. It let me put in my year of my truck, the model, headlights, go into headlight inserts. Oh, wow. Look at that. Because I kind of want to go. My wife had told me, she's like, you need to get some LED upgrades. And I was like, I don't need to change this. But then I started looking at it and I was like, all right, she may be onto something here. Because these aren't the brightest. Um, it may be time to upgrade. Let's see. This is kind of cool. I wonder how much this is. I'm just looking while I'm talking to you guys, by the way, because I'm curious. Hmm. Okay. That tells me how much I need to have as a baseline. I'm gonna price compare. I'll be honest. I'm gonna price compare, but um, $558 for halogen. Do I want halogen or do I want LED? I'm gonna have to do some research and look some more. Anyway, check out truckerswarehouse.com. Lots of cool information on there. All right. So this is the Stuff I Heard podcast. So let me tell you about some stuff I heard. I heard all kinds of interesting things this weekend. And one of the things that I heard came out of my own mouth. And I thought, I don't know if anybody's ever said that. So Jeeps are known as being sort of not very efficient. They're blockish. They're not going to win any prizes for miles per gallon. But I will say they should have some kind of sticker that says miles per gallon because off-roading was so enjoyable. We Let me tell you about our Windrock experience, okay? First day we went to the show, second day Danny and I went to Windrock, and we had a blast. It's just on the other side of Knoxville. It's not very far from Knoxville. If you're in the Knoxville area, it's very close. But we started off checking in at their little general store thing, and they have you download an app that has an active GPS built into a Wi-Fi system that somehow tagged into the entire mountain. Now they told us, they said you're not going to have GPS for like regular GPS. Your internet's probably not going to work, but we figured out how we can use Wi-Fi to get you guys a signal for this map, and it'll work interactive with you wherever you are, so you're not going to get lost. I'm like, okay, great. Um, we downloaded it onto Danny's phone. The only complaint I have of the app is that the screen does not stay on no matter what you do. You have to constantly touch it to get the screen on. And it would be helpful if the screen was on so that while you're tooling around, if you didn't have a co-pilot, then you could look over, once in a while and go, okay, that one's coming up. I got to look out for this one. So in this trip, I just happened to be the co-pilot, and I was constantly giving Danny updates and trying to also be his film crew and jump out and take videos of some cool obstacles we climbed over. But we had a total blast. I can't tell you how much I laughed in the Jeep going up and down these obstacles. We started off, and Danny had watched a bunch of videos online, and he really wanted to go and see Panther Rock. Now, if you want to YouTube it and check out what Panther Rock is, it's basically this jutting outreach of a rock that comes out of a cliffside, and it looks like a panther coming out of a rock. It's like, something you'd see in a superhero movie. They've actually used that rock in a Jeep commercial before. Had the thing sitting on it and used the sound of an eagle flying by, and basically just flew a drone into it, so you see it, from an angle, and then they go around. And anyway, it's beautiful. It's got a beautiful view from it. To get there is quite an adventure, and also you get a trail badge if you go up the route. So the route is Trail 51, and it's pretty fun to go up. Um, we completed the thing. We was able to register Danny to get the trail badge for it. And then once we were up there, we met a lot of cool people, and we talked to them and hung out with them. One of the guys, name was Brian. Him and his family were up there, and they were talking about, oh, well, if you haven't been here before, you really need to go to the west end of the park and ride some of these trails. And they started showing us, they had an actual physical paper map, and they were like, these trails over here are really fun. We've been here a bunch. And I was like, okay. So we were like, I don't even know how to get over there. And they were like, well, yeah, I tell you what, we're going to go back towards the beginning, And if you guys want to follow us, we'll take you out to this paved road over here, and it swings back around. And you can start from there and start heading that way. So that's what we did. We followed them. I can't remember the guy's name. His first name was Brian. Danny's already become Facebook friends with him. They're from Indiana. Really nice people. But we swung back around towards the beginning at the general store. And as we went up the trails, I was mapping out where route trail 26 was, because Danny had heard 26 was also a badge trail, and I looked it up and it is. So I figured out how to get us over there, but to do it, there was a couple of different ways. Some of them were easy and some of them were more difficult. And there was one labeled 22, and that was probably our favorite trail of the whole day. 22 was extremely long. We were on it for about 2 hours to get from one end to the other, and it was a blast. We giggled so much. I ended up with a blister on my elbow from the armrest of bouncing back and forth. But we had a great time, just a great time. Windrock Park does charge you per person. For us, it was $32 per person to get into the park. But I got to tell you, it was worth it. It was miles per gallon. We fueled up before we left Pigeon Forge, drove an hour towards the other side of Knoxville to do this park, drove the park, came on back, fueled up at the Buc-ee's there that's on the corner of I-40 and the main road that goes into Pigeon Forge, and was only like 14 gallons total. So, I mean, you can have quite a bit of fun for 14 gallons. Just saying. I had a blast. That was my favorite part of the whole trip. That that ride. So, thank you, Danny, for taking me. I appreciate it. Check him out on Instagram. He is DJ Jeep. DJ Jeep something. I gotta look it up. Can't think of it right off the top of my head. DJ Jeep Guy. All one word. DJ Jeep Guy. He has 70 followers. You guys all need to follow him, because I've been posting. I posted 2 video, or everything actually on there that I've posted is stuff I've posted for him. But I've tagged him in a ton of stuff. So if you look up DJ Jeep Guy, you're gonna see a whole bunch. And give him a follow. Like, all of a sudden I want him to open it and be like, holy crap, all these people. I think it'd be funny. So all right. Switching gears again. This is stuff I heard. I want to talk about the new Ahsoka show that's on Disney Plus. Have you guys seen this? 2 episodes came out this past week. Disney announced that they're going to have all of the new episodes out on Tuesday at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And just coincidence, I was up to watch it at 9 p.m. on the East Coast. I watched the first episode Tuesday night and had to go to bed because the first episode was an hour long and it was past my bedtime. So I watched the next episode the next morning. Really great. Really great. Now, for the casual person who knows nothing about Star Wars or any of this stuff, I was trying to explain it to Danny today because he doesn't know any of this stuff. I said basically George Lucas took the Eastern samurai story and turned it into a space odyssey. And in the situation, a Jedi would be like a samurai, and a Padawan would be like their person that's in training. So you have a master and a Padawan in the Jedi universe, whereas you'd have in samurai culture, you'd have the samurai and then, of course, his apprentice. So in this, Ahsoka, as a character that Dave Filoni created, Dave Filoni, who is now basically in charge of the Star Wars storyline through the blessing of George Lucas, had created Ahsoka on the Clone Wars. He then adapted Ahsoka to the Rebels story. All these cartoons that people don't watch that are totally cool, some of them are better than the movies, are all because Dave Filoni dreamed them up and his cast of people helped create. Now, Ahsoka was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. She was the character that basically he was supposed to tutelage to become a Jedi. And through the show that you watch, that does not happen the way it's supposed to happen. And of course, obviously, he becomes Darth Vader. Now, Rosario Dawson, somewhere along the way, people started commenting that the cartoon character Ahsoka looked a lot like Rosario. And Rosario apparently reached out and was like, oh, please let me play her. I would love that. And now she is playing Ahsoka Tano. So 2 episodes out, they've done a really good job of making all of the characters look like how they're supposed to look. Their mannerisms, the texture of the show, everything looks great. Um, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at where they're taking it. I'm amazed at how they're doing it. I'm amazed at the level at which someone along the way at Disney, or I guess it may be just Dave himself, just took the reins and said, let's not mess this up. And they're doing a great job. So 2 episodes in, I'm loving it. I brought up the cast on my computer just to see who they had playing different characters. And it looks like Tamara Morrison is going to come back. He's Boba Fett. He's also all of the clone troopers. He does the voice of all of them because it's based off the same guy, which was also Jango Fett. So he is Captain Rex in this, which means we're going to get to see Captain Rex. I'm so excited. I don't know. For the casual person who doesn't know anything about Star Wars, you're going to be like, who cares? Listen, I care. This is going to be awesome. Also, Hayden Christensen's going to be back as Anakin Skywalker, which means they're going to have flashbacks. Yay. Yay. This is going to be cool. Um, I in the beginning, I wasn't sure how I was going to like the character playing Sabine Wren. That's some huge shoes to fill, in my opinion. But so far, she's done a good job. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Natasha Lou Bordizzo. Bordizzo? Bordizzo. Okay, sure. Sounds great. Um, I dig her so far. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is playing Hera Syndulla. She's great. She's married to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor. Just saying. Just a nice little touch. I'm just saying. So I'm liking it. I'm into it. Go check it out. This is stuff I heard. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this up because I just got home from Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, and I have a lot to do. So thank you to everybody that I met. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I hope to have Danny and Mike on here at some point to talk about our experiences and the things that we learned, the things we met, the people we met, the the things we liked, the things we didn't like. I kind of want to talk about all of it. I was really wanting to do it last night, but nobody was feeling it except me. So, and then when I started to do it by myself, I realized I didn't have any notes taken down, and I can't do this without my notes. Plus, I didn't want to give you guys an episode without the camera and the mic and the stuff that I have here. Because if I do it, and I'm not here. I have to do it from my iPad, and that's kind of weird. So, anyway, thank you, everybody I met. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for taking my koozie. Please, please share the podcast. I'm just trying to make this grow. I'm trying to help community. I'm trying to help us all reach out to one another. Anthony Oliver's song, Richmond, North of Richmond, was heard all weekend from every direction. And I've watched a lot of videos about him talking about how there's a disconnect between the politicians and the corporate nation and the people that they're trying to either serve or sell to. And he hit the nail on the head. So, um, from that, I hope that we can, because I like to spin this towards the positive, I hope that we can build community ourselves, and I hope that we can help one another and talk to one another and support one another and promote the positive. Good folks like the people at Easy Flate or Truckers Warehouse. So anyway, that's my 2 cents worth for what it's worth. Y'all take care. Please remember rate, review, subscribe. Check out the Instagram. I posted a lot of videos on stuff I heard. I don't have a lot of followers on there because it was something that I I started that page as like an afterthought. So anyway, give me some love and thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. As I always end this by saying, cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.